We are moving really well, and right now in front of you is finished image. I'm just showing you this because based on this image we will be working with other images as well. And as I said before, this section will give you really amazing examples because, as you can see, there was a lot of work done and a lot of creative ways of working how to get the desired look. So that was the raw image, the after raw processing, of course, and this is the after. And I already started the other image, which is a little different, and it's this one image. After processing, I already cleaned this because you of course know how to do cleaning, some cleaning around the face and of course the background. And the cleaning was exactly the same as I was doing before, using healing brush tool and clone stamp. If it's about dodge and burn, there was not much work to do, just literally there was just tiny shadows that I wanted to work on, and that's it. And because you have to know when the fashion images, sometimes dodge and burn is not really that required. It depends on the type of your retouching. It looks a little bit different, but it's still just the dodge layer and grouped, and the mask is made in group because I desaturated my dodge process just a little bit, but it's exactly the same image. So let's jump into some work, and before we start the color grading, I want to show you the different way of working with contrasts because I believe it's very important. It's sort of connected to colors you will be working later because you work with shadows and highlights all the time. And if I have some different technique to show you, I want to show you. So, of course, it still will be related to curves. It's only about the way of masking. So, one will be for highlights, of course, which has is marked as an H, and the second will be shadows. And if you remember what we are doing, I was choosing the mask through image and then of course apply image. I'm not going to do this anymore, but I'm going to start with the highlights layer, and I'm going to use color range to do this. Let's go to select and color range. So what color range offers to you? Let's have a look at first. What is it? So we can choose the colors that exist over here. Whether we choose red, as you can see, it's masking the red colors that you have on the image. If we choose yellows, it will be masking the yellow colors on the image. Of course, it's as good as it looks. Of course, we can also choose sampled colors. So for example, if I choose these blue colors, it would mask that way. If I choose background, it's really also powerful for example, changing the background color, because we can just simply mask it and change the color. But what interests me right now is the highlights. So select highlights, and the range always when I work with highlights, I set as a maximum 255, and then I want to choose the highlights, the range that will be suitable for my work. At the moment, I see the around 100% works quite well for me. So I will stick to this, and that's how I will make the mask, because the highlights are well presented over here, including some of the background. Let's hit OK. And now I'm going also to make a selection and invert this for shadows, exactly the same as I was doing before. Let's take care of the highlights at first. I'm going to improve them. Don't worry if you see the banding, we will resolve this later. It sometimes appears for some reasons. So we improve the highlights and the shadows just a little bit. Okay, so this is the result I wanted to achieve, and what I see, I would like to actually get a little bit more out from her trousers, maybe from some highlights. I really want to have strong and harsh highlights on these images, as you can see. So I'm going to go with curves once again, and I'm going to choose H1 as a highlights number 1 and do the same step, color range, but this time I'm going to choose smaller color range just to affect the highlights. And once again, improve the highlights. I will take down the previous one down to 70%, and this one also down to 70%, so I will keep some balance on them. Put them into the group. See, of course not normal but luminosity, and before, after. Before, it's really harsh right now, but it's the way I like it. This was the main idea for this image, so this is how I would set up the contrasts for this image. Okay, so let's jump into color grading.